What's up, guys? Um, Today we're gonna be talking about something personal to a lot of people and mostly to me. I'm gonna tell my personal story. It's it's not really as big as an epidemic before, but it's still super important. Today I'm gonna talk about suicide. Um, a lot of bands joke around with it and shit. Um, Suicide Boys, Suicide Silence, and shit. They talk about it a lot, and really still among like high schoolers and shit, even adults. I see it. Suicide's still a big part of everyday life and shit. I have a story to tell. Like I said, it really hits home for me. It's hard to talk about with certain people. I don't really like to tell just like everybody about it, but I'm gonna tell y'all the story of how I lost my dad, my real dad, my blood father. Um, Shit. Let's get it. Okay, so not last spring, but the spring before last, um, without warning anything, my father took his life. He drove his truck out to Wise County, which is Decatur, Texas, and he ran a garden hose from his tailpipe into the cab of his truck, and he laid down in the back seat. But it was really hard. It still is really hard because I had to sit there and comfort my sister, my older sister, and my niece and my nephew. When people start thinking about suicide, they don't think about the effects that it has on other people, which is a huge part because I'm still tore up about it. My sister's still tore up about it. We can't talk to each other about it. Um, it's just, it's a really tough thing to deal with, especially nowadays. I think what really got me the most was that he didn't say goodbye. The the last time I saw him before he took his life was 2 days after Christmas Day. Um, he picked me up and took me out to my sister's. It's still so hard to comprehend that he's not going to be here anymore. He wasn't a big part of my life initially. Um, I saw him maybe once or twice every few months when I was like in third grade up. Uh, but he was just starting to come back into my life. I had been seeing him frequently for 4 or 5 years. Um, and he was just starting to become another big part of me. I was just finally getting to know the person who gave me my life. And it really sucks because it happened without warning. There weren't any signs. He never talked about it. Every time I saw him, he was always happy. He was always giving me smiles. He told me he loved me. He'd hug me. And I'm a grown ass man, and it was nice. But my dad was also a dope fiend. He had just recently got back onto heroin, and the September of that year, that same year he took his life, my grandmother died of cancer, which I think that's mostly the reason why he took his life, because his mom was always there with him. Um, through his seizures, his mom was there. Every little problem, his mom would help him. Um, and my grandmother was an amazing soul. She really was, and I miss her to death. And I miss my dad, but I don't think enough people talk about suicide and the effects it has on other people. It's just it's something nobody wants to talk about because it's hard to talk about. Nobody wants to talk about somebody taking their own life. Nobody wants to talk about them taking their own life. I'm gonna post the suicide hotline in the description below. Um, what brought about this idea to talk about all this was Logic's new song, the 1-800 song. Um, it really hits home for me because of this whole situation, and it was tough having to explain to my niece and my nephew that they never see their grandpa again. Even my own sister, who is almost in her 30s now, she didn't even want to comprehend it. And when we got all of his stuff, I was the one who had to go through it all. His phone, his dresser, his bill. Well, no, my sister went through his bills and expenses and stuff. But I had to go through all the personal shit. And I found really, really heartbreaking things. Not necessarily explaining that he wanted to commit suicide, but like, um, he had this little journal and he wrote poems and stuff for my older sister's mom because me and my older sister are only half siblings. But he still had a journal of love letters and stuff to her, and that really she couldn't read it after the first page because it hurt her so much. Um, what really tore me up, what really made me finally crack and stuff, he had a sticky note and it had mine and my mother's name on it and our address and my phone number and my mom's phone number. And it was just, I don't know what about it, but it just broke me because it was posted on the top of his dresser. And then I had to go through all the stuff in the drawers, and I ended up finding his GED and remembering how proud he was when we were in the car as he was taking me to my sister's, because we were just driving and relaxing, and he pulls out his wallet and he says, "Hey, look at this. I finally did something." And he handed me the card that said he received his GED. And all I can remember is just being proud. And just the smile on his face because he never smiled. The last words he ever said to me were that he loved me and that he was proud of me. In my opinion, suicide's nothing to joke about. Just because of my experience. I personally have thought about committing suicide. I've had a family friend commit suicide. He left his children and his wife without warning. I'm not going to tell that story because it's not my place to tell that story. But it's not a game. Suicide is real life. Suicide has consequences upon the person doing it and the family. You can't just commit suicide and think everybody's forgotten you when you have your whole family who's gonna miss you, who's gonna grieve over you. The thing that kept me from committing suicide was my family. Every time I thought about doing it, I would think about what it would do to my little sisters, how it would tear them to shreds. because I've always been there to help them out. Anytime something went wrong, somebody messed with my sister, I was right there in their face. I was ready to go. I beat multiple kids up in front of my house for just talking shit to my little sisters. And then another big part was my mom, who is my role model. And I don't know where I'd be without my mother today. And I'm more than thankful that she's still alive here with me. And I'm glad that I will have many more years with her, because she is my rock. I don't say it enough, but I do love my mother. I love her more than I will ever love anything in this world. I think that's me when I was little, and my mother. She's an amazing woman. And yeah, but that's my story today. This has been my vlog. I just wanted to make a quick video, talk to y'all a little bit. Yeah, it's been Toothless Vapes.